And who is, if I can make sure I have a ground, who is the one that's wants to implement this? Wants
Uh,
Bronto, and is that you or
well, all of us. Chad, told us to sign up for this. Okay, so
gotcha?
and what he wants to be able to do is where we send out emails to our customers, whether it's the new people that just bought an RV, whether it's service, whether it's parts, any of that stuff. Okay, so I do the marketing. KK is inputs stuff into the CRM as it is now based on information that RV salesmen give to her. Okay.
Gotcha.
Correct, KK? Can you hear us? I don't. I don't know if KK can hear us or not, but I do not have any access to IDS as it is now. I don't need it. I don't do anything in IDS. Okay, so all this is kind of new to me, but I know the concepts of what Bronto does. I mean, that made sense. Okay.
Gotcha. Alrighty, so I guess this will be a very open, quick Q&A, question and answer type demo. So feel free to ask me anytime you want to. So I am recording,
Okay.
and so if I heard properly, let me answer the most important question that I've heard so far. Is that you're looking at Bronto.
Yes.
In Bronto, we have what we call lists, and in the default list in Bronto, and this is a live customer here, but I like them. They know me. Is here you have two lists that come out of the box: your lead list and your customer list.
Okay.
So the customer list is coming from G2. And by the way, do you guys use Blue Screen or do you use G2?
I think we use both.
Okay.
Different people use different things from what I hear.
That's
Okay.
common.
And it
Okay.
doesn't it doesn't matter. I don't care. The data is kind of like a house. G2 looks through the kitchen window and Blue Screen looks through the living room window. It's the inside is all the same. It's just a different way of accessing the data. So, and I heard what you said is so if a customer is entered by accounting, by parts, by service, I don't care how they're entered in to G2, it is going to end up as a part of the list, a customer list in Bronto
Okay.
with
Okay.
with a huge caveat. If whoever enters them in gets their email address, because Bronto is an email client.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so anybody that's entered the system, period, I don't care how they get in the system, as long as they include an email address, then they would automatically be up here. So like this is All Valley, and so right now they have 6533 customers in their customer list. If
Okay.
somebody, a salesman or parts, entered somebody right now and hit save, then that would change to 6534,
Okay.
and it's just an automatic up and down. Uh, there's quite a few side benefits, and that's what hopefully that everyone that gets to kind of listen to this later on, it's that one of the side benefits, if you go with the CRM Pro Plus, what we call it, which is inclusive of the Bronto that you're seeing, is your web lead integration.
Okay.
So you guys have web leads, and people go to your website, and you are word Bayou. Well, I'll just go here. Bayou.com.
It's BayouOutdoor.com.
Outdoor. There you go. So if somebody goes to your website and they go to wherever you guys have forms in your website and they hit submit, they want to know, they want to quote, they want to whatever they want, any forms that on your website or any of your manufacturers that you participate with. When a customer does that, if a customer did that right now, then
Okay.
that would change from 1872, sorry, from 292 to 293.
Okay.
So just realize that Bronto is being populated by G2, and Bronto is being populated by any of your web forms that you guys use or
Okay.
that your affiliates are there. Okay,
Okay.
now what does that include? That includes, and I'm going to fields as that's slow to get there. And there is, I used to have, there you go. There's 77 fields. If you can see here at the very, very bottom, 77 items, fields are coming from G2 to Bronto on a real-time basis, like last sold service date.
Okay.
When the service department closes a work order or finalizes a work order and they hit save, then that would update that customer, which that would or could, like you saw last week, update a segment saying the customers with closed work orders and send out an email saying, hey, thank you very much for your service. Please recommend us, and whatever you want to say to the customer.
Okay.
Uh, Same thing here with part sold date. So again, this is one of the 77 fields. So again, you sell somebody a part. Nobody has to do anything at the dealership. They just sell the part like they always have. And if they don't sell to 999, by the way,
Uh-huh.
if they sell parts to people, then that people would get an email saying thank you for buying your parts.
Is that an automatic email or does somebody have to send it?
Automatic.
Okay. All
That's
right.
that's well, that's the beauty of Bronto. Bronto has two distinct ways of sending emails. We have the automation, which I can show you right.
Okay.
And the automation, um, and we'll just actually let's go with Primos. They're probably my best example of Primo. So automation, workflows, and wait for it. So let's go parts, thank you. So exactly what I talked about. So when somebody buys a parts at Primo, that adds them to the segment. They bought a part in the last 2 days. That sends an email automatically, and then that adds it to a different workflow. So again, that's the beauty of the Bronto and the beauty of the integration is I believe it's 10 minutes. So if a customer bought a part at 2 o'clock, at 2:10, they would get an email saying thank you very much.
Okay.
And you
All right.
can actually get fancy. You say, nah, wait till the nighttime. You could throw a delay in here and wait till the night to send the person the email.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, which I can just rest assured, as much truthfulness as I can put in my voice, that nobody else is doing out there, is touching your sold customers. So
Okay.
here, as it is loading, and I will pick on Michelle. So when a customer takes delivery of a unit, and let me kind of collapse that a little bit. So again, this is what you saw last week, a segment. So when a customer takes delivery today, and that delivery is owned by Michelle Marabella, it's supposed to wait 1 day, send an email saying, hey, thank you for buying your RV. Welcome to the family, all the kind of good stuff and we do, by the way, we give you content, roughly 35, I think it is now, emails
Okay.
that kind of get you started. And
The
you look at it and
templates?
say, yeah, I'll change this word, I'll change that word, and back and forth.
Okay.
But nobody, well, I'll take back, I shouldn't say it's nobody, they are doing it. And like right now, he's got 153 customers that have gotten that email, and then it waits 6 months. Now, right now, he's got 120 customers have gone through this. 33 are sitting here waiting for 6 months. Once the 6 months happens, then it will send a 6-month email. Then he's got 53 sitting here waiting for the 12th month magic marker. And then they send another email saying, thank you for buying. And we set it up for 36 months. You can go up longer that you want to.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it. We have, go back to our workflows. One of the things in the training is that we train whoever you choose to have trained, but the training is the setup. So we go through and set everything up with whoever we're training. So they not only do you get it all set up, you get the person who's working with it and knows how to do it.
Okay.
So you can send emails by workflows, or let's just to the other side of the coin. You have an email, and let me just pick one here when it comes up. And it is coming up. And let's just pick on September newsletter.
Okay.
So a newsletter historically is not going to be a workflow type letter. So what you do is you hit schedule. So you create your email, you hit schedule, and then you say, okay, who's it from? what's the return address, and then you can send it to any of your lists, or you can send it to any of your segments. So,
Okay, hang on one second.
sure.
KK just walked up. She couldn't do this. He's recording it,
Okay.
so we'll be able to play it back.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I can't get it to work.
Okay.
So.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Okay, so I just wanted to emphasize that emails out of Bronto can be to automation based on some action, some part sale, the work order, or an email can be sent to any list, your customer list, your lead list, whatever list you wish to, and any segment. So let's say that you want to you have you guys sell tracker boats?
No.
What kind of boats do y'all sell?
Oh, there's all kind, but we are selling the boat store, but there's Ranger, Triton, Bennington. So this is only going to be for RVs.
Okay, what kind of RVs do y'all sell?
Grand Design, Forest River, Delaterras, all of them.
Okay, let's pick on Forest River. So
Okay.
let's just say you say, I want to say all the customers that bought a Vibe 2017, we got in 2021, we have a perfect replacement model. So we would create a segment saying, select all customers who bought a Vibe 2015,
Okay.
25 RK, and send them this email announcing the arrival of the 2021 replacement for the 2015 25 RK. So it's really a cool way of your emails. You can target your people that you want to send to without a lot of work. Once you set it up, there's not a lot of work involved. You don't need a full-time marketing person. You just need somebody that has a little bit of logic to them. So,
Okay. So once you get past the setup, then it's just a quick implementation, is what you're saying.
right. So yeah,
Okay.
like all these automations here, every one of these that you're seeing, all as it comes up. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got roughly 10 automations going. No human has to touch this. It just happens.
All right.
All your post service, all your parts, all your web lead autoresponder. So a customer sends in a web lead at 2 o'clock in the morning. They get an email back to them saying, "Hey, I got your email." So it's all an automation for you.
Okay. But
So
I do have a question. So
Sure.
when you're talking about like parts or service, that will only happen if our employee that's in parts or employee that's in service enters an email address.
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
What if it's a repeat customer?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, a customer, we can set it up to a couple different ways. Like a guy buys a part. So
Okay.
say the guy buys a part on Monday, we can send back an email saying thank you for buying the part. And then he comes on Tuesday and buys another part. Well, then he would get another email saying thank you. If
Okay.
that's something you didn't want, we could say, you know what, only send one email per week if they
Okay.
buy more than one part during that week.
Okay.
So yeah, you can have a lot of freedom as far as how many emails you send people. My philosophy is every time they buy something, say thank you.
Okay. All right.
So that's the Bronto is the recipient of all the data that you're putting in. So when you buy, say we're considering Bronto and CRM, or CRM Bronto, the CRM portion. So I'm going to show you quickly the CRM portion of it. Because the CRM portion of it,
Can be, oh, well, okay, well, what contract is this for? Has money gone away?
you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. So just quickly, what we would do when you say you're thinking about venturing into this endeavor with CRM is that every web lead we will either import into G2 automatically. Now, hope you understand how that is huge. So every single web
Well,
lead,
like yesterday,
no
I
longer,
did
who distributes your web leads right now?
Chad does.
Okay.
Yes.
So
he gets an email and then he forwards it.
Chad would still get web leads, however he's currently getting them. The difference would be is that on top of Chad getting the email leads, they would also automatically be created in G2 for him.
Okay.
No human intervention. It would just go right in there for him. And then up to Chad, he could have the system, he could manually sign them like he's doing right now, or he can have leads assigned to the sales staff by round robin, or we can have leads assigned to existing salespeople. So there's a lot of freedom in how the web leads get assigned to the salespeople, and basically whatever Chad wants to. Now, this is the part that you can or not do, totally up to you. We have dealerships that have salespeople all have PCs on their desk and they all run CRM, and we have dealerships that don't have salesmen with PCs on their desk and don't run CRM. So
Ours do not.
Yours do not. Okay. So more than likely, what you would want is that the receptionist. Now, who actually puts? If John and Susan and the two kids come to your store, who puts John and Susan's information into IDS?
KK.
And KK is the receptionist?
Well, she's transitioning out of that. We can't get somebody to show up right now. So she is not going to be the receptionist, but she is going to be doing the CRM stuff.
Okay, well, that would be the same. Okay, so bottom line is somebody. We'll use KK for right now. So the John and Susan, two kids, come to your lot, and so KK would get that information, I'm assuming, from the salesman.
Correct.
And she put it in there, and then she would actually tie the customer to whoever that salesman. And then what you're seeing on your screen is that any follow-ups that Chad or you or whoever deems necessary, the salesman do have access to the internet on their phones or at their desk or not?
On their phones.
Okay.
The person that does handle the leads, he does have, there's two of them, and they do have computers on their desk.
Okay, well, they would be full-blown users then, and they would have the CRM loaded on their desk. The salespeople that didn't have CRM, and let's talk about customers, walk-in customers, not web leads for a second. So anybody, and I'll just use KK for right now. So KK enters in customers with an email address, so that way it goes to Bronto, and then KK would assign follow-ups for that customer, and your salesperson, all of them, could access any follow-ups that have been assigned to them on their phone.
Okay.
And kind of cool here is they would actually have your manager. This would be in regard to your web leads. He would be able to see the age of the web leads there by how long they haven't been responded to. So if he sees something green, he knows it's been given to one of the lead people, but no response has been made. If it's orange, he knows it's been given to the lead people, but no follow-up happened yet. So there's kind of a color coding system to it to allow Chad to always know what his web lead people are doing.
Mark, can I interject for 1 second?
Yep.
Patsy, right now, do you instantaneously enter those when somebody comes in the door, or is there a time frame that kind of goes by before they actually get implemented in the system?
I believe there is a lag time.
Okay.
Because the salesman, as I understand it, and Chad, if you can hear me, you can correct this if I'm wrong. The salesman give the information to KK, and then KK enters it into what she says CRM and IDS, and she has mentioned that she's a little behind in that. So that tells me there's a lag time.
Okay. So Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but we could actually implement a different process there so that the web leads went from Chad, they got assigned through the system, and the salesperson could actually enter it in on their end instead of handing it off to the receptionist. Is that correct?
Well, if they have access to a computer, yeah, they could.
Right.
Yeah. There's two RV salesmen that Chad forwards the leads to. Okay. And they do have computers.
Okay. Yeah. So
but they do not have access to IDS.
Now, how many salespeople don't have computers?
We 6 total, I think, right?
I guess, yeah, 6, 7, something like that.
Okay. Well, bottom line is that,
and they will not, and as I understand it, one of those $3,000 licenses are not used by a salesman, and probably won't be.
Right. So Mark, if if the salespeople that actually have computers have a CRM license, then they don't actually need to access the Astra license, correct?
Correct. And if CRM, when you open CRM in our system, like those two guys that you're talking about, when the first guy opens up CRM, he is burning one license. But CRM is a pool license setup. And what that means is 10 salespeople could actually log in, and you're only burning one license.
One of the $600 or $700 license, the Bronto ones.
What she's asking is it a G2 license or is it a CRM license?
It's a CRM license, pool license, which basically gives him access to enter in customers all day long, respond to customers all day long, everything CRM related, and the Bronto.
Right. So Patsy, that's the $700.
Okay.
$700 one.
And we could do all of that with just one, correct?
Yep, just one license.
Okay. All right. Because, they do not spend a lot of time sitting there in front of their computer. They are active around this dealership. So we do not have a person that just sits in front of the computer.
Right.
Salesman.
So it basically, we'd have to discuss how you guys want to implement it, but definitely those two guys, all we would do is, you would buy you buy lump CRM / Bronto Pro Plus, and with them both logged on, they're only burning one license.
Okay, the same one that I would use, the same one that KK would use. We're all in one.
Yep.
Okay.
After it's one license per 10.
Okay. All right. That's what I needed to know.
That then you spend more money.
Okay.
So it's kind of how you want. You may want the salespeople to access what you're seeing on the screen here. Like this is your follow-ups that they can have assigned to them.
Okay.
So any follow-ups that, again, I'll just use KK, but if KK for the salespeople that aren't the two, if she enters in John and Susan in the system and she assigns follow-ups based on whatever you guys think of that should be done, then every salesperson could access the follow-ups. And again, you're only burning those licenses.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, my only concern for you, Patsy, is that, a customer walks in the door and unless somebody is putting it in right away and assigning those follow-ups, there may not be any correspondence back with that person for a week or two, right? Okay.
Well, I think once KK gets transitioned, she, knowing this now, we can take care of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just she's had a number of different duties that have put her behind.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
But I'm following what you're saying. The timeliness is important.
Right. You want somebody to come in the door, and if they walk out the door, you want something to go out, thank you for visiting us, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So you're when you're talking about like an up, so a customer comes in, looks around, they have not actually put down their money yet. This is a prospect. Okay.
Yes.
Correct.
All right.
100%, yeah. And what you're seeing now is kind of, again, that's something we'd have to work with y'all to make sure we tailor it to what you wanted. But this is what you'd be looking at by salesperson. So this could be John salesperson. And so as KK enters into contact, let me just double click on a contact. So when KK enters in contact, up in this upper right-hand corner, this is where you would have your salesman's name listed. Whoever talked to Tom Arena, that would be his information up here. So she would enter in the contacts for the salespeople, and this is what she would be looking at here, and she could see what's going on with those customers.
Okay.
So it all depends on how far you want to take it.
Okay.
Are you guys using anything for prospecting? What do you currently? I should have asked this question earlier. So John and Susan, two kids come to the lot. They spend a couple hours with John salesman. What happens to that information now? Does it go into IDS or only go into IDS when you sell them?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. I think
I would imagine that the sales manager gets that information from the salespeople and then stays on them. I mean, and follows up with them and that is what I'm thinking happens.
Well, bottom line, I guess what it is as you guys discuss this, as you think about doing whatever you want to do with it, is that the Bronto, boom, it's there.
Okay.
And the Bronto, though, is only as rich as you make it by demanding, which we can give you reporting, that you enter in the system, also enter the email address.
Okay.
And then if you want to take it, you definitely can follow up with sold customers. You can have Bronto taking care of that for you. Sold customers, parts customers, service customers. And then you also have, I guess, a third way of saying this would be your prospecting. You have a very, very robust prospecting out there that can let you know what the guys are working on. So I think there's some discussion there on how you want to use it. And
Yes.
we actually have many dealerships that the salespeople supply their own PCs. Again, you're only burning one license. Just got all you would have to do is make sure they have network connectivity, which could be wireless.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
think some of our salespeople do bring their own.
Is that right?
So,
A
yeah.
lot of salespeople do that. So
Some do.
the mobile will allow them to look at follow-ups that are created for them. If they have a computer, then what you're seeing on your screen now, they got the full thing looking at them anytime they want to.
Okay.
And of course, at that point, you might have the salespeople putting people in the system because it's only about a 2-3 minute process versus having KK or something doing that. But obviously, that'd be up to y'all.
Okay.
So have I touched on the answers you're looking for, or?
I think I understand it a whole lot better than I did the other day,
Good.
just because I was, it was all new to me. But
Okay.
I think I'm clear on the two different ways it comes in, and so that helps.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, that's what I wanted to accomplish today. So I'm glad Mark was able to record this, and I'll send you that link so that you can share it with anybody who wasn't able to come on, or if you guys want to
Okay.
go back and rewatch it. But obviously with what Mark presented, there's some decisions that you guys have to make. How do you want this to work? How I wanted to show you the capabilities, but now you guys have to make some decisions as far as this is how it would work internally, right?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you have
Okay.
any other questions right now?
I don't. After KK watches this, she might have some.
Sure.
Chad, can you hear me? Do you have any questions? I don't know if he can hear me.
Yeah,
So,
I see him there, but I don't know if he can hear us.
yeah.
Yeah, so why don't
So-
you guys do this? Why don't you watch the video, and then if you guys have additional questions, why don't you just schedule a couple minutes with me and we can run through those questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate y'all taking the time to go through this with us again.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you for your time, Mark.
yes. Okay.
Okay, I enjoy it. Go sell.
Okay.
Have a good week.
Okay.
Okay.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.